at, Matt?
We just got to the Harley-Davidson Museum. We're about to get a tour of the place, a guided tour.
Guided tour this time, which is going to be sick, because last time we did it, we were just on our own in the middle of a trip back to Toronto from California, and kind of probably not in the right headspace.
No, and we also got those little, we got the offer headsets here, so it tells you a little bit about the history, which I definitely think you should do, but it's pretty cool being able to get this guided tour and find out probably a little bit more about the place than
for sure
the history of it than we otherwise wouldn't have, right?
So this is the bike we call serial number 1. It's one of the oldest Harleys in existence, and it's considered our first motorcycle. The bike has been in the collection for a very long time. You know, that first year in 1903, I think they built like 1 or 2 of these. So there aren't that many of them are hanging around. Arthur liked to travel, loved it. So he became our first salesman, and he was also the man most responsible for setting up the dealer network. William Harley was the engineer. He liked to tinker with things the most. You can see with his draft work over there. He became our first chief engineer. Walter was a cold fish, so became our first president. and then Bill Harley knew about factories, knew how to run big shops, big operations. And it was a big operation quite quickly. They started in a shed out behind the family home, and you'll see a replica out on our lawn. There was a 10 by 15 shed, which is what our lighted floor here is. So you can see with the bike in there, there wasn't a lot of room to work. But that quickly expanded because they added on to the shed. They added a whole section onto the shed, so there's a little bit more room for the shed, but even then, they expanded pretty quickly. Between 1903 and 1911, they went through like 3 different buildings. They expanded really rapidly. By 1920, they were making several thousand motorcycles. So you can see in 17 years, they went from 1 to a lot by 1920, employing over 1,000 workers. A couple things were established early on in this time period. One is they had this fantastic growth of the company. You know, by 1914, we're making 20,000 motorcycles. We've got over 1,500 employees. You know, considering just 12 years before they were in a shed, that's monumental growth. They were facing also a lot of competition. We know the big one, like Indian, is the famous one, but there was also Yale and Reading and Excelsior and Henderson, and you just go down the list. At this time period, you're looking at maybe over 100 American motorcycle companies in the country. Just in America, we're not even talking about Canada and Europe and wherever else, just in America. In fact, we weren't even the only motorcycle company in the 19-teens in Milwaukee. There was another one he's a long German name that I can never remember how to pronounce, but his bike was called the Legacy. And they built from about 1910 to 1915. Right after World War I, they established what we called the service school. Now we call it Harley-Davidson University. It's still in operation. It's still operating much like it did back then, which is they'd bring the mechanics to Milwaukee and they'd run them through a class. Here's the motorcycle. Here's what it does. And here's how you fix it. Here's how we want you to fix it. And so the guy running it from 1919 to about 1963 when he retired was a guy named Joe Ryan. And we actually have some of his materials here, including his notes for his notebook. So this was his teaching manual, basically, that he used. The WLI we made 60,000 of during World War II. And they just weren't for the American market. They went to Canada, they went to Russia, they went to basically every ally who was involved in combat too. So it wasn't just the US troops that used this motorcycle. The other important thing about this bike is we made 60,000 of them, and that introduced a lot of people to Harley-Davidson. So these are board track racers. There are holes in our collection, believe it or not, that we don't have. And so like these bikes were purchased as the museum was going up. So they're totally restored. But board track racers were very fast bikes, and they were first kind of racing that Harley, really professional racing that Harley got involved with. And from the get-go, Harley really didn't want to be involved with that. It was a very dangerous form of racing. These bikes were going well over 100 miles an hour on a wood track. And the wood track was not small. You know, I often say, imagine like the Indy 500 instead of cement and asphalt being just wood. You know, those bikes, they were stripped down of anything they didn't, quote unquote, need, including brakes.
Oh my God, no way.
There were also total oil loss systems at the time. There was no recirculating oil. It hadn't been invented yet. So as a racer's going down the track, going over 100 miles an hour on a bike without brakes, they're also having to pump their own oil into the engine. And all the oil is leaking out onto the track. So the longer you go, the track starts sucking up the oil, it becomes slick, and you got holes in the track, you're going 100 miles an hour, and on brake. And so it was a very dangerous type of racing, and there were lots of casualties. Dot Robinson, she was a racer. She was doing endurance races. And endurance races at that time period when she was doing them, it was like everybody had a big twin. And then on top of it, they're going 300 miles through the woods. So she did the Jack Pine in Michigan. And the Jack Pine's still running today, but it's 80 miles through the woods, and you're on a, dirt bike or, a bike that's made to do that kind of things. Back when she was doing it, she was doing a sidecar rig, big twin, racing, and she won in 49. She won her class at the Jack Pine. And then also on top of it, she and her husband, this is also rare for the time, owned their own dealership. Okay. She was one of the principals on the dealer. It was Don and Earl in Detroit, Michigan. And then on top of that, she was one of the founders of the Motor Maids. Somebody pointed out something to me when they were giving a tour. I was giving a tour to a brand guy at one point. And he looks at this and he goes, what's really interesting about this? If you think about Ford or you think about Chevy, their main logo is always, you can always find it somewhere on their trucks. It's either the Chevy cross right in the front or on their front grille, or the Ford, oval. Somewhere it's going to be really prominent on their vehicles. With Harley, he said, the bar and shield is the main logo for Harley, but it didn't actually appear on any of our tank badges, which is, if you're talking about designers, the most important real estate on a bike. It didn't actually appear on any of our tank badges until the 70s. So for most of our history, our main emblem didn't actually appear on our tank badges. What's even more amazing is up until '63, we didn't have any professional designers on staff. They hired Willie G. Davidson in 1963, and he was the first actually on-staff designer. We don't really know we do know prior to '63, some bikes, some models, who was designing them. But a lot of the models, we have no clue, like the Knucklehead, we have no idea who designed that. It's such an important kind of design touchstone for the company, but we have really no idea who was doing that work. So a lot of those early logos, tank badges, we really don't have a clue who was doing those, where those came from. Did they hire somebody? Was it somebody inside? Was it, whatever. Some of these are fun, actually. They've got fun stories all unto themselves. Forget the bikes they were on. Like the flames here, you can see how it gradiates out to the orange. Yep. The technology at that time didn't exist to do that mechanically, and so they had to do that by hand. So this was, they made 1,800 of these bikes in 1980. The vast majority, about 2/3 of the collection, is factory fresh bikes. So the 56 FL here, this has got the King of the Highway package and everything. It's kind of our first touring bike, if you want to go that far. Has 8 miles on it. 8 miles. And that's kind of we kind of say they're priceless because there's no replacing that. There's no, whole building goes up in flames. You can't replace a 56 mint condition with only 8 miles on it. And we talk about kind of the collection as a working collection. The 56 is a really good example of that. So for the Icons bike last year, they took basically the 56, that kind of mid-50s FL look, and just kind of almost beat for beat recreated it for the Icons bike. Obviously, this one has a higher performing engine and all that stuff, but you can kind of see the influences. The other types of bike we'll collect are from individuals. Kind of like I was describing downstairs, we like, when we tell stories in the museum particularly, we like telling people stories. That's how people connect, as opposed to this is the bikes and this is the flywheel and this is what it does and this is how it moves. We do tell those kind of stories, but for the most part, the majority of our visitors actually coming through are not motorcycle riders. About 50% are not riders at all. So we're looking kind of for those stories to talk about the community at large, both for them, but also for the riders so they can kind of see themselves here. The short-lived Superbike program for Harley, the VR1000. This is an example of one we have too many of because we've got basically the whole team.
You do too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to forget the guy's name. The one racer who actually finished third on one of these things was a Canadian. So yeah, that's one of the Terminator bikes. So we'll collect those kind of things too, kind of culturally significant bikes. This exhibit's a little bit about both the art and the engineering of the bike and where that comes from, historically speaking. One of the things we got, again, from William Harley's great-grandson was a series of drawings and information about Harley we didn't have, which was he was a big sketcher and artist himself. So we got duck drawings and duck sketches from William Harley now, of just kind of all those things. It started to make more sense where these bikes started to come from. If you already had kind of an eye for art, it's like, okay, well, yeah, you could start to see kind of how the bike should come together through Willie G. Davidson, who is by far the most famous of our designers at the company, to how we're kind of operating today on bikes.
We just wrapped up a sick tour at the museum, which was cool to do it with a guide.
Yeah, and being able to kind of see the archives and stuff like that was cool, man. Even just seeing like some of the photography that they documented throughout the years,
Dude,
the process of the bikes being built.
Yeah, they keep so much stuff.
Yeah,
they archive everything. It's crazy, dude.
The fact that like they use that still to this day when they need to reference something, even for a new build or something like that.
Yeah, they look back on old designs and reference it. He was saying they even put like little Easter eggs on newer bikes from old bikes.
Right.
The grips from like a bike from the 50s or whatever.
Or even
cool.
Like seeing these bikes that so Harley-Davidson would take one off the line to keep for themselves. So seeing these bikes that all of us would imagine we could get our hands on somebody an old knuckle that has 5 miles on it. It's a brand new bike still, it's an unridden bike anyway. It's such, and being able to see that right in front of you and know the priceless value of that.
That was unreal. Yeah, that was very sick to be able to go and see all the archives and all that stuff. But we were
for real.
Stoked to get a sick tour.
Yeah,
but,
that was cool.
Yeah. All right, guys, we just got to Veterans Park right now. Well, I can see the stage is pretty far back there. I'm not sure what we're doing. I think we're just gonna take a peek and then come back later tonight when the actual show starts.
So I think the plan for now is we're gonna hang out here for a little bit. I'm guessing probably rip back to the hotel for a minute and then
have dinner
and end up back here again tonight, right?
Yeah. Oh, these guys are losing. These guys almost bailed on their scooter. Where did we end up, dude?
All right, we just saw Luke Westman, who's just about to start a tattoo, and
he invited us into the little booth because it's raining now. It just started raining.
The rain, so it's actually pretty cool. So he's got it set up here to look like a classic tattoo shop. And it's just that he has photos.
Oh, is this classic?
This is these photos. This backdrop
from Classic Tattoo
from the tattoo
in
shop.
Fullerton, right?
Yeah, in Fullerton. It's such a cool shop, and it's so cool that this is his backdrop that he was able to do.
Sick, dude.
I mean, it's a pretty cool job, man. For tattooing on the road and stuff, this is cool that they're able to kind of have this nice, clean setup. I feel like these guys are gonna have to be busy.
Oh yeah. If I wasn't retired from getting tattooed, I would come and get one.
Yeah, we'll see. There's very little room left, but we'll see.
That and it just sucks. I'm over it. I did my time.
I should get he's got a rose. I should get the rose right on my face.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't you want that anyway?
I do want it, yeah. We've been on our feet, so we're gonna head back to the hotel just for a little bit. We just wanted to go in, say what up. So we are gonna go back to the hotel for a little bit, just relax, regroup, and then go out for dinner.
Come back for dinner. I think we're eating right there.
We are, right there.
We're eating over there. So we'll be back here tonight. Tell the vlog what just happened, dude.
What just happened?
Homecoming is canceled.
Oh yeah, I was like, we just ate a delicious meal. But
Homecoming is canceled, dude.
There was a crazy weather warning. I mean, they're saying tornado might touch down. It's at the very least we're getting a ton of rain, so they had to cancel the show early tonight. Now it's not canceled for the weekend, but it is canceled for tonight.
We were literally watching people.
So no Hank Williams Jr. tonight.
Yeah. We were watching people clear out. They started clearing out people 2 hours ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we had a great dinner.
Anyways, we're gonna get back on the bus and keep the night going. We're still gonna have fun. It's
We're
good.
gonna have a great time.
All right, everybody. Just got back to the hotel. We are gonna grab a drink at the hotel lobby. The weather is supposed to get pretty bad here, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a drink here, and then
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, sorry to interrupt the vlog. Let me take this phone call. Hello?
Who's that?
It's Chris from Law Tigers.
Oh, okay. What up, Chris?
Hey, dude. No, we haven't done that yet. No, we totally messed that up. Okay, we'll do that right now. Okay, talk to you in a bit, dude. Take care.
What's up?
So we messed up.
What happened?
We forgot to shout out Law Tigers, the sponsor of the channel.
Oh, right.
So we're gonna make sure to remind anyone if they get into an accident to call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS.
Yes. And they also have an Instagram page you want to follow. It's lawtigers.ie. So lawtigers.ie. That's for the Inland Empire. Anyways, let's get back to it. We're gonna go have a drink
All right, let's
now.
go.
We're gonna have a drink.
Party's just started, right?
Party's only
Well,
got started. We're gonna have fun no matter what.
Event got canceled, but hey, we're making the most of it, right?
Only for tonight, not for the weekend.
We are here at Veterans Park. We're about ready to see Chris Dickinson blow this place up.